Going to take a quick break and talk about Drizzly. Drizzly is fantastic. It's the most convenient way to buy beer, wine, and spirits with delivery to your doorstep. And get this, under 60 minutes. It's insane.
Yeah, I think what's also great is you can compare prices and shop different places and get your best deal.
And you're shopping and you're doing a lot of cooking during the holiday season and you're all busy and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need that bottle of wine.
Wrapping presents and you don't want to have to take time to run to the store.
Or you forget a gift.
Yeah.
And you need it delivered real quickly. Here's the way to do it. You download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com. And Drizzly is giving every new customer $5 off their first order. What's that promo code, Seaton?
FAST5 at checkout.
FAST5 at checkout. It's drizzly.com.
A college degree was in your future. Then life took a different turn. Jump back into school with confidence in a program designed for adults like you. Experience the support of a personal enrollment counselor. They'll walk with you through every step of the enrollment process. Move smoothly from one course to the next, with books delivered right to you before each course. Returning to school can be seamless when you have the right support. Thrive without ceasing. Start today at adult.cornerstone.edu.
This podcast is going to start a little weird. We're going to get to our real intro in a moment, but something broke just after we got done recording the latest episodes, so we're adding it to the beginning. I am Matt Harris, and she is Seaton Tucker, and I don't even know what you're about to say right now because it just came across. What do you have for me?
Just less than an hour ago, the state paper has reported on a motion that was filed by Eric Bland on behalf of the Satterfield heirs. So in the motion that he filed, he is requesting for civil detention, asking that they require an arrest and detention of Alec Murdaugh until he returns the property that has been fraudulently embezzled from his clients.
He wants him locked up.
Right, and in this filing, he cites a state law that says under certain circumstances, a person can be arrested in a civil case despite there not being criminal charges.
Wow, who knew? Eric Bland's the best, I think.
I know.
He's great. We had him on. You should go back and listen to the episode. We had him on talking about the Satterfield case. It's a game changer. As far as we know, Alec is still in rehab.
Last we heard.
I mean, that's the last. So when he comes out, Eric Bland wants him arrested.
Right. He wants him to remain in custody.
I hope we can get a hold of Eric. He was a great guest when we had him on. It'd be great to talk to you right now. Impact of influence. The tragic story of a powerful South Carolina family and the mysterious deaths that they are linked to. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for the support. Always appreciate it. I am Matt Harris, and she's the co-host, Seaton Tucker. Hello, Seaton.
Hello.
Crazy days, chasing kids' belongings around, trying to find their stuff that they forget to take to school.
A missing backpack.
Missing backpacks, missing dance clothes, but we got it together, we think, for this podcast. I want to start with an email I received, and actually a rating on Apple Podcasts. So please go rate and comment and share. And you can always reach out to us. We now have a Facebook page, Murdaugh Podcast on Facebook. And you can reach out to us there. Plus, through email, mattharrispodcast@gmail.com, Seaton Tucker on Facebook. So this fella goes as Bakaban, says, first, if you're going to do a podcast, learn the names of your primary subjects. The last name is Murdaugh, pronounced like Murdaugh, not Murdaugh. The GH is silent and no K sound. Also, your main subject is Alex with an X, not Alec with a K sound. And he has 3 children, not 2, Paul, Lynn, and Buster. Was really looking forward to this since I live in South Carolina, but if you cannot even give the main cast of characters correct, I'll get my information elsewhere. Very disappointed. We love getting feedback, but we have to straighten you out on this, Bokaban. You are incorrect. Should you start with, she wants us to say, and I think it's a she, yes, it's female, Murdaugh, but.
Yeah, so the family, what we've done extensive research on this, they say Murdaugh. Like it's not, that's just the way it's said down there. We've checked it out.
So it is Murdaugh. Also, your main subject is Alex with an X, not Alec. Let me explain that a little bit. They say it differently in the Low Country. There's an accent, of course. We say it on this podcast as Alec because we thought if we say it with the accent, it might be confusing when you say ALEX.
But it's even more confusing because I believe that down in the Low Country and his family, they actually say Alec.
Alec, yes.
But we thought that would make more sense and not deviate too far away from Alex.
Yeah, so that's what we do with there. Now, the person says he has 3 children, not 2, Paul, Lynn, and Buster. That is incorrect. His kids are Paul and Buster. Paul was shot and killed. Buster, last we know, was in Edisto. The Lynn name, where does that come from?
That is actually Alec's sister. And we have a great family tree that we just put up on our Facebook page thank you, Kelly Patterson, shout out, who helped us do that one. I actually put it up several times this morning because I had some dates wrong. It was a Monday, but I think it should be correct.
Well, it'll be correct. We'll
fix it.
So it's up there. You can follow along, everybody, if you wanted to see the timeline. But Lynn doesn't get mentioned very often. She's not really involved in all the law firm and the people that they're the big players like John Marvin and Alec and Randy. Yes. So there you go. Look for the family tree of the Murdaughs up on the Murdaugh podcast Facebook page. Okay, wanted to get that out of the way before we move to some things that are going down, which include the financial firm denying involvement with Alec Murdaugh in the housekeeper settlement. That firm is Forge Consulting, LLC. The reason they're making a statement because of Eric Bland's statement that he said allegedly Mr. Murdaugh and Corey Fleming made that check payable to Forge. The remaining amount of that, almost $4 million, that was recovered, and then he took the rest, or that's what we are told. That's what Eric Bland said. So Forge is mentioned there because he wrote the check to Forge, Alec did, allegedly. So Forge Consulting, which is the real company, saying that wasn't us. It was not us. He used our name, probably, I'm guessing, so people would see Forge and just be like, woo, there you go. We're not going to question it too much because Forge helps structure settlements in South Carolina personal injury and wrongful death cases. So you could see that. So in their statement, they say had no involvement in or knowledge of the alleged inappropriate conduct of Alex Murdaugh. He used the name Forge without our knowledge or consent. The weird thing to me is that Alec was tight with the lead counsel for the Forge LLC company. In fact, Maggie and Alec went to the wedding of Michael Gunn, which is Forge Consulting principal. There's a picture they found of Maggie and Alec on the Facebook page that they were supposed to go to this big, giant, highfalutin wedding in New York City, but had to be canceled because of a snowstorm. And so there's this picture of Maggie and Alec outside their private plane saying, guess we're not going, or something like that. So the crazy thing to me is
that you would do that to your friend.
Yeah,
if it's true that you would, but I mean, it made sense that they would pick a corporation that wouldn't draw, that he would, if it is true that he would pick a name that wouldn't,
because they're involved in personal injury stuff. Yeah.
Right. That it would possibly be able to be passed off as legitimate. Exactly.
And so now the Forge people are saying, hey, we just kind of cross paths because all the biggest of the big, they're, are friendly, but not necessarily best friends.
Well, I think we also need to talk now. There was a response from the law firm where Corey Fleming works, where they talked to the Island Packet. So Jim Moss tells the Island Packet that all of the accusations against Fleming are false. He says that the law firm has hired attorneys and plans to file a countersuit. And he doesn't specify who he's going to sue. And then he also says, when asked about where the money is, he says, if you want to know where the money is, check Hampton.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was very interesting. All right. So also, while we're on the business of statements, this is kind of came out of the blue because they've already denied any involvement with Alex's issues, but Alex's former firm had released a statement today.
Right. So we'll just hit, it's a long statement, but we'll just hit a few of the highlights. So first off, they start off by saying that most of them grew up in the area, attended local schools, worshiped at area churches, and continue involvement with local and civic organizations and charities. Then they also said that Alex violated our principles and code of ethics. He lied and he stole from us. No member of PMPED was aware of Alex's scheme. When we learned he had betrayed our trust, we requested his resignation immediately. We have yet to speak to anyone who is aware of his addiction to opioids.
That is a huge distance yourself from this whole thing announcement. And that is also saying we did not know that he had this 20-year addiction that somehow slid under the radar.
It seems odd that you would work with someone every day and not be aware that they were having some sort of addiction. But I mean, I guess sometimes people function with addictions and people don't know.
Sure.
They go on to say that the funds taken by Alex will not affect current or future PMPED operations. No client of PMPED will suffer financial loss as a result of Alex's misconduct. And they hit on the Gloria Satterfield after that. They said, if these reports are accurate, we are stunned at what occurred. It's important for everyone to know that PMPED did not represent Alec in that case. His insurance company hired counsel to represent them. So, yet again, they're distancing themselves.
There was nothing involved with that. They have malpractice insurance, I'm sure. I don't know how that comes into play. We'll have to talk to an attorney about that. I also wonder if this opens the door to every single case Alec has had over the last 20 years to be investigated, whether it's prosecutorial or civil, because I know that if I had him representing me and...
Yeah, it did go how you want it to go, you would probably be like, hey, what was going on?
Yeah, I only got this much. Was I supposed to get more? I don't know. And we're taking a little break to talk about something we have fallen in love with, which is Green Chef. Seton, you just told me you're ready to go order some more, and so am I.
Yes, I love it. There's so many definitely choices, and everything is pre-portioned, easy to follow. It makes cooking really simple, especially for a weeknight.
Yeah, we're so busy. Everybody running around doing their things with kids and whatnot. So just get the Green Chef out. It's one little bag. You're good to go. It's America's #1 meal kit for eating well, meaning the best meal kit, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just want to eat more balanced meals. This is the way to go. And the family loved them?
They love them, and I don't have to go to the grocery store.
That's right. That is a big thing. They come right, and you don't have to worry about missing an ingredient. Go to greenchef.com/Murdaugh10 and use code Murdaugh10, MURDAUGH10, to get 10 free meals, including free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well. I'm going to pause for a moment and talk about Warby Parker. I've used Warby Parker for glasses for a couple of years now, so I'm so happy they're signing on as a sponsor for the podcast. And Seton, I know you love the try.
Yes, this is the first time I tried Warby Parker, and I ordered my 5 pairs for free, and you have 5 days to try them on. There's no obligation to buy, and they ship for free, and they include a prepaid return label, and I love the selection. I found out I have a wide face, and the Daisy Wides were the ones that worked best for me, and my husband complimented me on them, which is not like him to notice my granny readers.
And the glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. Don't let your FSA or HSA dollars go to waste. Put them to good use on Warby Parker prescription glasses, prescription sunglasses, contact lenses, and eye exams. Try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/Murdaugh. That's warbyparker.com/Murdaugh. We also want to kind of get an update on all the lawsuits that involve or are connected to the Murdaughs. At one point, there was 14 or 15. I think we have 10 or so now. Susan Williams joins us. She's a South Carolina criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. Worked in the Low Country for a while. And Susan, let's start with the wrongful death lawsuits involving Mallory Beach. There were a lot of names in the beginning when the lawsuits were filed, and some have been dropped from the lawsuit. Is that correct?
That's correct. Some people were initially listed as defendants, and they have since been removed from that particular lawsuit that was filed on March 29th, 2019.
So give me an update now. Who is listed on the wrongful death lawsuit as we speak?
The wrongful death suit the plaintiff is Renee Beach, she's the mother of Mallory Beach. She's representing the estate of Mallory Beach. The current defendants on that case are Alex Murdaugh, Buster Murdaugh, Greg Parker, doing business as Parker's 55, and Luther's Rare and Well Done, LLC. The rest of the defendants have been removed from that.
So we know that there was a hearing scheduled for after Maggie and Paul were murdered, but wasn't there something before?
I think that was probably around a week before the murders. That was a failed mediation in that wrongful death case.
Well, what else? Let's go to this. What other suits are out there that have a connection to the boating accident?
So we got the Connor Cook lawsuit that was filed in Richland County on July the 7th, 2021, against the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, the Beaufort County Sheriff's Department, and quote-unquote unknown others. That is a suit where Connor Cook, of course, he was a survivor on the 2019 boat crash that ended with Mallory Beach's death. And in that suit, his attorneys on his behalf are alleging a conspiracy to make it look like possibly Paul Murdaugh was not the driver of the boat, and that there was some type of conspiracy to focus wrongfully the investigation on Connor Cook rather than Paul Murdaugh. Connor Cook also has a lawsuit that was filed very recently on September 21st, 2021 in Hampden County, another civil lawsuit. The defendants there are Alex Murdaugh, Buster Murdaugh, Tahia Cohen, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing her name or his name. I think it's a female that was an employee at Parker's, and then Parker's is another defendant. And in that lawsuit, there are some allegations, pretty kind of similar allegations that Connor Cook was sort of made out to be someone that may have been a driver of the boat, that he was intimidated by the Murdaughs, and that Alec Murdaugh told him to, quote-unquote, keep his mouth shut.
What is the lawsuit that deals with the Philadelphia Indemnity, and is that important?
It is extremely important, in my opinion. The Philadelphia Indemnity, Philadelphia Fidelity Insurance Company is sued Alex Murdaugh, Buster Murdaugh, and that was a suit in the United States District Court of South Carolina in the Beaufort Division. And what was happening there was the insurance company was saying to Alex Murdaugh, we're not going to pay this claim that you're asking us to pay because your insurance coverage is for a business. It's for hunting operations. And this is a commercial policy. And Alex Murdaugh and Buster Murdaugh are not the named insurers. Obviously, the boating accident has nothing to do with hunting operations. They're not running any kind of commercial business. So this case has actually been dismissed. And the importance of this case is that Alex Murdaugh is not going to be able to pay the Mallory Beach death claim through Philadelphia Fidelity Insurance.
More likely out of his pocket. Okay, Susan, I also want to touch on something we just learned, was that Connor Cook's attorneys wanted to get Alec Murdaugh's hospital records from after the incident with the hired hitman, alleged attempted suicide. Is that correct?
My understanding is that that has to do with the Renee Beach, the estate of Mallory Beach lawsuit, where yes, they were seeking some documents that had to do with the medical records of Alec Murdaugh from his trip to Savannah on the helicopter and his medical records. And there's been a response filed that says that they want to quash that subpoena.
I mean, this seems like they're two separate events, so it seems weird that they would want that information. Do you have any idea why they might want that information?
I don't have any idea from looking at the court document.
I just found it so interesting why Connor's lawyers, why they would be interested in this information.
From a case that was from 2019.
Right, these are two separate incidents.
I'm playing armchair lawyer. Maybe they want to have some sort of precedent of him lying. Maybe they want to say, check out his drug usage. Maybe there's something in there that talks about how long he's been on drugs or how much drugs were in his system or something like that.
Right, we do know, according to his lawyers, he went to rehab for this opioid addiction, and that the judge actually ordered him to stay in rehab. If he leaves rehab, his bond will be revoked. But the other thing to think about is the money? I mean, he said he spent lots of money on this opioid addiction, so maybe that is, they want to find out information about that.
Why they're digging into that stay at Savannah. Susan Williams, attorney, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us on the podcast. Please rate and share the podcast. We have a Facebook page. It's just getting rolling. It's Murdaugh Podcast, Murdaugh, even though it's pronounced Murdaugh. Murdaugh Podcast. We're going to put up the family tree of the Murdaughs so you can get an idea of that and some of the terminology we use that you might not be familiar with if you're not from South Carolina. Like SLED, we refer to a lot, which is South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, kind of like the FBI of South Carolina. So we'll put some terms like that up there. We also want to give a big thanks to Laura McD and Ivy League Murdaughs. Gave us a good rating, and Seton was on the show, and they welcomed us with open arms. So thank you to the folks at Ivy League Murdaughs. Give that a listen to, friends, and we will talk again very soon.
Shop Mattress Firm's year-end sale and put an end to junk sleep. Save up to $500 when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base with qualifying Sealy purchase up to a $499 value. Or shop top-selling brands and get up to 50% off select mattresses, like Sealy Twin mattresses starting at $224.99 or Serta Twin mattresses at $349.99. And shop with confidence thanks to our low price guarantee. Only at Mattress Firm. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Annie had an earache on a Saturday of all days. So her mom brought her to Minute Clinic at CVS, where you can see a provider, fill a prescription, and grab essentials like pain relief products, all in one visit. Even on evenings and weekends. You can even see us online with telehealth options. For quality, affordable care on your schedule, visit Minute Clinic at CVS. That's healthier made easier. Services vary by location. See minuteclinic.com for details.